drama in the workplace, wild accusations, and lots of intrigue.
Let's put the picture up. Former Tennessee cop Megan Hall, 26 years of age.
For the past few months now, the Megan Hall scandal has been all over the internet. The rookie patrol officer in a small police department in Vergne, Tennessee became a celebrity overnight for all the wrong reasons. But what really happened? Let's take a deep dive into the wild and crazy story of Megan Olivia Hall. Megan Hall, a 26-year-old woman from rural Tennessee, was what everyone would consider a dream child. As a child, Megan dreamed of becoming an actress, but fate had other plans in store for her. She met and fell in love with Jedediah Hall, the son of a local pastor, and the two tied the knot in 2018. With her acting dreams on hold, Megan decided to join the local Vergne Police Department. Meanwhile, her husband Jed picked up work as a park ranger, and the two seemed to be living a picture-perfect life. Photos with huge smiles on their faces and just completely in love with one another. But as they say, all that glitters is not gold. Megan recently revealed that she and Jed were actually having some serious marital problems. It was these very problems that instigated the events that followed. As things were not good at home, she tried to have some fun at her job. But while having fun, she also became involved in some questionable acts. She and her colleagues engaged in steamy romps within the confines of the department. Those involved included patrol officers Juan Lugo Perez, Lewis Powell, Detective Seneca Shields, and Sergeant Henry Ty McGowan, who were all fired from their positions along with Megan. 3 other officers, including Patrick Magliacco, Larry Holliday, and Gavin Showborough, were suspended after the investigation. With so many wild adventures, it was a question of time before the whole world would find out.
You guys are going to pay me because I was sleeping with your police officers, and I'm a woman, and I'm a piece of meat, and I'm hot, and I'm sexy. Said nobody ever but me and my lawyer.
But what really set everything in motion? On December 12, 2022, the police received a complaint. The Vergne Mayor Jason Cole, of all people, found out thanks to a whistleblower that there was something seriously shady going on in his town's police department. He received a tip that one of the officers, Megan Hill, was having affairs with several of her fellow cops.
For lack of better terms, is a sex scandal going on in this police department.
These liaisons happened not just off-duty in hotels, motels, and boat parties, but also while these officers were supposed to be serving and protecting their community. The investigation into this whole scandal was led by the head of human resources of the Vergne Police Department, Andrew Patton, and revealed some jaw-dropping details. Megan's relationship with Jed wasn't the greatest right before this scandal made waves. The couple was on the verge of divorce and were trying to iron out their issues before Megan cracked. She had even led the officers in her office to believe that she was in an open relationship with her husband. This obviously was not true. Right before she joined the force, Hall had a meeting with Officer McGowan at his place, who it turns out was the original whistleblower to the mayor. She went with Jed and, well, things got out of hand. At McGowan's house, Hall and the officer's wife took their clothes off while playing strip Uno. Hall was trying to get her husband Jed on board with a sort of three-way situation, but he did not let himself be persuaded and actually was pretty upset with the situation. But despite that, Megan and McGowan reportedly made out, and the officer even shared pictures of his genitals with Hall. As it was, the whistleblower himself got in trouble. Despite all of the evidence, McGowan denied having any affairs with Hall. He was subsequently fired from the job for lying in the investigation. Another one of the officers, Patrick Magliacco, admitted to having been with Hall on numerous occasions. He revealed that the female police officer and his wife Amy made out after learning that the couple had an open marriage. During the investigation, Magliacco revealed that he and his wife had been in an open relationship with Hall since the spring of 2022. This is another instance of Hall trying to rope her husband into doing something he was not on board with. What happened was that Jedediah had walked in on his wife making out with Amy. After being exposed, they tried to get Jed into a wife-swapping session, but the attempt went flat. Jedediah left the room and was visibly uncomfortable with the whole situation. After all, how could anybody be on board with something like this? But the wildest parts of this whole story happened at a boathouse. On Memorial Day, all the officers in the department were invited to a Girls Gone Wild hot tub party hosted by an officer named Stats on a boat he owned. The officers brought their partners to the party as well, and some even took their children along. Well, during the party, there was an incident when Magliacco was forcing vodka down Hall's throat in the hot tub. This was moments before Hall suddenly decided to take her top off. According to another officer, Durham, Stats jumped at Hall. He stopped her from drinking and quickly covered her up in order to protect her. Both Durham and Stats claim that they never had any inappropriate relations with Hall. Heavily drunk, Hall even fell down a flight of stairs at the party before having sex with Magliocco. During the investigation, Magliocco even shared his concerns about Megan's mental health. He told investigators that Hall was extremely prone to drinking and that she had even drove home drunk from a party at his house once. Magliocco talked about Hall's tendency to express her thoughts about self-harm and her saying that she should not be alone. According to the officer, Hall once pointed an empty gun to her head and pulled the trigger so she could hear what it sounded like. As Hall unraveled, the investigators also found out about some of her steamy rendezvous with her superiors, especially Sergeant Lewis Powell, who was also incriminated by Magliocco. Magliocco told investigators about Hall bragging to him about Powell's big black D. Megan revealed to Magliocco that she had performed oral sex on Powell while on duty. Her affair with Powell lasted for months, while the sergeant becoming pretty infatuated with Hall. Hall, on the other hand, wasn't really interested in taking things far and even tried to break them off on multiple occasions. She told investigators in her second and third interviews about her relationship with Powell and that he had threatened to kill himself when she tried to end things between them. Powell, who was married, initially denied having relations with Hall several times. He tried to spin all the blame on Hall, saying that everybody knows she has multiple partners. But after realizing that there was no way out for him, he caved. Another officer in the department named Detective Seneca Shields also denied having any relations with Hall at first, but upon further pressing by the investigators, buckled and admitted that they had engaged in oral sex in the department's weight room while they were on the clock. But the one affair that even she didn't bother to hide was with the canine officer Larry Holliday. Megan admitted to her relationship with Holliday in the very first interview, but according to Hall, her tryst with Holliday happened a long time ago. When questioned by the investigators about his relationship with Hall, Holliday said that he once invited Hall and other officers to his home to watch football and there was heavy drinking. According to the report, there were some talks about a threesome involving Hall, Holliday, and Holliday's ex, but Holliday claims that nothing happened at the party. The officer later came clean about having sexual relations with Hall multiple times, saying that they would meet in hotel rooms for their liaisons. During the investigation, Hall initially denied having any illicit affairs with the men in her department except for Holliday, but she did confess to sending nude images to other officers on shift, including Holliday, Magliocco, and Officer Schoberl, according to the report. She also revealed that she sent images of her feet to Ty McGowan, claiming that he had a foot fetish and would often ask her for pictures of her feet. Her final affair happened with Juan Lugo. Lugo initially denied committing any inappropriate acts with Hall, but when Hall copped to her affairs with him, he was forced to confess. The pair met up at a hotel after partying all night with their office clique at a Go Fun USA. Before I continue, if you like this video so far, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now let's continue. At the end of the whole probe into this scandal, Hall unsurprisingly got canned from her position in the department. Lugo, Powell, Shields, and McGowan were also fired for violating police procedure and lying during the investigation. Holliday was suspended from his position for being honest with the investigation, along with Magliocco and Schoberl. This whole scandal and the terminations that followed have led to the Vergne Police Department losing 12% of its total manpower. Hall has now come out and said that she felt sexually groomed by her superiors in a federal civil rights case that was filed after the incident. According to her lawyer, Wesley Clark, Hall was taken advantage of and exploited by her superiors because of her mental health struggles and troubled marriage.
She was looked at as a piece of meat to be sexualized and exploited.
I know what most people are saying. You know, you could have said no. I get it. But my response to them is that I did say no.
As the case continues, the Vergne Police Chief Burrell Chip Davis was also fired from his position. A third-party investigator found out that Davis knew about Hall's tryst with her fellow officers, but instead of doing anything about it, tried to cover it up even more. However, the true victim of this whole thing is Hall's husband, Jedediah. Despite everything that he's been through, he's still choosing to stick by his wife and work through their marital problems. His boss, the Coffee County Sheriff Chad Parton, says, "I don't know how he's doing it. He's more of a man than I am, but he's trying to salvage his marriage."